Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Weekly Collective. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's good to see you. If you've never been before, this is a perfect time to tune in because we're going to take a look at a lot of things, actually. Some channel messages. I got a lot of specific information, even though I'm a little sleep deprived. We're going to also look at the next 7 days, and then we'll focus on a elemental breakdown before we get into one of my most favorite special topics in recent memory, which is how and where to work your magic. Because I believe, and I put this in a fiction book that I wrote, but the word magic, we use it to describe a new truth or a hidden gift that we just don't understand. So we all have the capacity to be magical, to manifest, and to connect with our intuition. That, my friends, is why I show up every single week, even on a day after I had to move all my stuff into this temporary location, because it's important to show up and to support each other. So I'm here for you. And just, I'll get into it after we go through channel messages. But yeah, my apartment was not safe. Unfortunately, the leak that was in the HVAC, I had them test because it's not my first rodeo with that. And there was, in fact, contained within the unit mold. So I am here until we can find another unit for me to get into, and then I'll move there, and then I may be looking for another place. But anyway, trying to manifest better living situations in 2026 too. So we'll all work our magic together. All right, I have a lot coming through for channel messages. Let's check in on Apollo. Yes, the Apollo cam should be working. Oh my gosh, so cute. Let's give him a little pet on the back here. Yes. Thank you. Oh, I know it's been a tough day. All right. Anyway, channel messages. Okay. There were a lot and they were specific. So listen to all of them. Take what you will. I'm reading for a lot of you. But when I get specific ones, I like to share them as well. Okay? Here we go. First of all, I saw a lot of energy around maternal figures in your life. And it came like in twinning energy. So let me explain. This could be interpreted as two people in your life that fill the role of mother. For some of you, maybe you didn't have a traditional mom in your life, either because you have two dads or you were adopted, or maybe a grandparent stepped into the role, and it doesn't have to be a woman. I just got maternal. And Spirit was specific on saying it doesn't have to be a woman, because that nurturing, loving energy can come from anybody of any sort of gender. So, but it was interesting because I heard you ask, who's my, like, who, how do I differentiate? And Spirit was like, you don't have to. They're both your mother. So if you're adopted and you have an amazing adopted parent, that's your mother. You have a birth mother too. You have two moms. If you live in a household where there are two dads or two moms, same thing. It doesn't matter. I just got like for some of you, you won the lottery where there were two maternal figures that had your back. For some of you, you're wondering why one of them feels more like a mother than the one that birthed you. And Spirit's like, don't sweat the small stuff. At least there's one. For those of you that don't have that maternal figure, or they've passed like mine has, you can find it in another person. You can also find it within, of course, but it may then be split between one or two people because it's hard to sometimes find that love that you have from a parent that brought you into this planet, whether they adopted you or surrogate or, whatever. But that was the message here is there's some nurturing energy that wants to come forth and support you in this period of time. And who couldn't use a little bit of more love and support, right? So, okay, so that's message number one. And the other thing was, what do you call them? You can decide that with them, and it really doesn't matter. Potato, potato. It's just nice to have that energy in your life. Okay. There might be for some of you a challenge. I could look at this from a different perspective where it feels like you have someone in your life that you love and they have one day they're one person, one day they're the other. And that's a little bit more challenging, whether it's because of emotions, addictions, their own struggles. I also got a little hint of that too. So I just wanted to validate multiple messages around parental figures coming in, okay? Be careful when you're driving this week because of distractions. That's it. Nothing wrong with the vehicle, nothing wrong with other people around you, distractions. Spirit was very clear on that. Because I saw a car and I watched someone not looking, and then I saw a fender bender. And it happened 2 or 3 times. Spirit really wanted to push that point home. So get enough sleep. If you're tired like I am today, don't drive. If there's a text that comes in, ignore it. You can answer it later or put on driving mode. I know that iOS devices have it. I'm sure Android does as well. Or just turn off the sound while you're driving and don't look. This is very, very clear from Spirit. And also, if there's distractions in the car like children or pets, make sure they're secured. Make sure you might have somebody there to help you, or this wouldn't be a week to be doing a lot in that sort of area. Take care of yourselves, okay? Not to scare you. It's more like focus. If you focus, you're fine. If you don't, challenges arise, okay? So I never read from a place of fear, but I saw it 3 times. So once you, twice environmental. So if you are alert and awake, you won't have that problem. All right, I've said my piece. The other piece here, let's see. This is fun. There's someone, for those that are single and looking, this is specifically for you, and I don't always get messages for you, but I got an attempt at someone trying to be sort of like covert flirting. It didn't, like at first you're like, what are they do? Something wrong with them? And then they're not good at flirting. And then eventually you're like, oh, okay, this is their weird version of flirting. Okay. And someone might be interested in you, but they have a very strange and not very polished way of showing it. So I got to watch in spirit this strange exchange. And then eventually you're like, oh, okay, maybe I kind of like him, and give it a shot if you want to. But that's what I saw, is that someone is bad at flirting. And this would be someone that you randomly meet. And I got a little specific information about them. The job function seemed to be like an auditor, like someone that watched for other people to make mistakes and documented it, which I didn't find a super, like, that's not a fun, it's hard to start a conversation around that, but it's an important role. Like, we need people to make sure that things balance out. But it could be like a cop, because I saw them writing things out like a ticket. It could be an accountant that's looking, because they were charging people or ticketing people. And I'm like, okay, but maybe also some of you are flirting out of a ticket. I don't know, but that's what I got, was something where, and then there's a connection. It's kind of like Bridesmaids, where Kristen Wiig is very bad at picking up on the cop's bad at flirting, and they kind of hit it off. It's like that kind of thing. So be aware, drive safely. Now it actually connects. Don't get a speeding ticket either. But if you do, maybe you can flirt your way out of it. I don't know. The guides are interesting, and my mediumship has been waking up, even as I've been doing some of the private readings. So if I get a really specific hit, I share it. And that is everything, folks, on the channel messages. All right. We're going to start with a 7-day forecast here. Before I begin, do me a favor. It is free. It helps me. It cheers me up. Subscribe if you're watching this, because that will allow you to eventually chat with us. Share this. There's a little share button, and share it to whatever your favorite social media network is. Let people know that I'm live right now, and comment when it's on replay. Free, super supportive, makes my day. If you'd like to give back with a super sticker, we have a goal today. You can click the target, and then I'll look at the poll and maybe even ask for some questions, and we'll do something viewer-led, just because I couldn't think of what I wanted to do for the poll. It was all I could do. I was up till 2 a.m. setting this up. I'm pretty good at doing it, but like, I'd be happy to not. Because I'm not going to have to take this and then set it up again. Like, I'm tired of it. So today, I need your help on that. We'll choose a topic. I'm here for you. With my coffee, tea, and water. I have multiple things to keep my voice lubricated today, so thank you for your patience. Now let's get into the 7-day forecast. I actually kind of don't mind the table. It's a nice backdrop for the cards. They need to clean it more, but it is what it is. Okay. We're going to take a look at the next 7 days. So while I'm shuffling, I'd like you to take a moment, please, and clear your mind. Whatever you're bringing into today's reading, let it go. Imagine that you're sitting outside in either the sunlight or the moonlight, and that halo of light around you is protecting you and connecting you to source, okay? Yeah, people are getting a kick out of the flirting. Try not to get the ticket, but if you get it, maybe you can flirt out of it, or flirt your way through it. Who knows? Who knows? I couldn't really tell if the person was cute. That wasn't kind of what Spirit wanted to show me, just that there was some flirtation. Okay. Let me just get my view here so I can see everything. All right, so we are going to take a look at the week ahead, starting with today. Where is your brain? The Seven of Cups in the reverse position can show distraction. I like this version of it where they're kind of divining tea leaves, and you may need to take a moment to tune in. This is one of the ways to tune in. So are these. So for those of you that are starting your spiritual practice, grab your tarot deck, grab your runes, grab your tea grounds, whatever, or coffee grounds, because I think you can do both. It's coffee. So whatever your method, journaling is good. Tune in, take time, make time. Actually, didn't I say that for today? It all sounds familiar. So that was the daily. This is adding another level on top of that, because if you don't know what you're looking for or what you're trying to create, it's kind of hard for Spirit to show up for you. Throwback today to an old Bangles song, which was actually a cover, and I don't know the original artist, but the Bangles sang a song called If She Knew What She Wants. In this situation, her love interest could provide. But it's sort of like, if you don't know what you're looking for, how is Spirit going to help you manifest? Know what you want, tell Spirit what you want, be specific, not vague. I've used this example before, but in one of my long time ago, like a decade ago, when I was doing a client reading, someone asked, I keep asking Spirit to just send me a man. And I'm like, please be more specific. She's like, why isn't he coming? I said, we'll look into that. I don't know yet, but don't ever say that again to Spirit. You really want to be clear, like send me a partner who has, and then start to define it, who has dealt with their familial issues, who is emotionally available, who has good health, who has healthy relationships with them. Like, spell that stuff out. Don't just say, send me a person, because it's like Vegas odds. You may hit jackpot or you may go bankrupt. So be more specific in your manifestation, and that also will help. You might find you might find that it's hard today to concentrate, or that you have a lot of questions, or that instructions are ambiguous. In these situations, get clarity before proceeding, okay? Also, this kind of goes nicely with the whole distraction stuff that I was talking about. We want to be mindful of that and avoid distractions, okay? All right, let's look at the beginning of the week. Monday, Ace of Cups in reverse. So I mentioned, like, for what I was picking up on before we started the reading, the daily, we're tuning in a little bit more with the Seven of Cups today, but like there was tower energy that I was picking up on. I know I'm in it. So you see the wave here. This is always how I like to look at, like, a different interpretation of the tower is a wave. I just hit my different table. I'm like not used to it. Okay, so the wave. You can either go with the energetic flow or fight it. And when you fight it, it's overwhelming sometimes. Get support if you need to. But why fight it? If you need to make a pivot, a move, or somehow kind of like a change, it's going to be better if you just let it go. What I'm getting on Monday is surrender. Ace of Cups in reverse. All right, I'm done with the drama, the trauma. I'm done trying. I just have to let this go. Surrender. Move into a new wave of peace, prosperity, and let the universe guide you. That's something I'm trying to do too. Let it guide you to the next place. It's clear that I need to move, but I have to now pivot and get specific. So you may have a similar thing in career, love, or possibly even for you, like where you're at. Whenever this happens, like the bigger question from Spirit for this week for all of us, where do you want to be? Not where are you at or where are you going, but where do you want to be? And when I'm using that verb to be, I'm thinking of like exist, thrive, love, connect. Being. That is going to be important because aside from childhood, as adults, we are not prompted often enough. What is it, not just that you want to be, but where do you want to be? How do you want to be? Who do you want to be with? Take the verb to be and figure out all of the things that you want it to be connected to. It's a good meditation thing for today. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I want to be in a loving and, reciprocal relationship with someone who's emotionally available and honest. I want to be thriving in what I do, and I want to be making a difference. Those are some examples that are coming to mind. So use the word to be. put the wish, tomorrow I am. Take it a step further from the I want to be to I am. Okay? Okay. There could be love coming into your life. Make sure it's reciprocal. There could be mixed signals. I mentioned bad flirtation, something I've never really seen in meditation before. If you're not clear, ask. Say, I'm sorry, are you flirting? Maybe not that direct, but just say, what do you mean by that? Okay, let's go on to Tuesday, see what's coming through. Things get a little clearer. We have the Page of Cups in the upright position. We have someone sitting atop a lotus blossom. They're above the murk of all of the sort of, and the depths of the pond. So like basically anytime a lotus petal or blossom rather, or a lily pushes through, it has to make quite a journey through silt, through waves, through all that stuff, and eventually it gets to the top and it's there. One thing that I get from Spirit is it's worth the journey. It's worth the work, particularly for those of you that might be going to a psychologist or psychiatrist. Keep on working until everything is regulated and balanced out for you. You are headed in a good direction, and in fact, in the right direction. Also, think to yourself what it is that you are open to receive. So I am open to receive love, abundance, and opportunity in the highest form. I'm open to receive an easier path ahead, whatever it is that you want to see come into your life. So we focused the previous day on what you are doing, where you want to be. This is what you want to see come to you. It's more of a receptive card, okay? So there could be new love, there could be a new opportunity, there could be a great idea coming forth, but I'm getting also the receptivity piece as well. So far, it's a pretty important week, I think. Okay, the Chariot. This is the day to be careful with your driving. All right, because the Chariot represents transportation. In a modern build, this could be just as easily like a car, a plane. If it were war, it would be like a tank, but like vehicles. Okay, so with respect, see how we have a very Sagittarius-oriented archer there? Focus. Be a laser focus on what it is that you need to do. Look ahead, look to your sides, but don't look at the phone. Don't get distracted. This is also now metaphorically taking it out of literally driving, saying, I am my best when I'm focused on the task at hand, when I am not looking at this, that, and the other thing, like you might be doing today. So find a way to get focused. It could include any number of the following: exercise, meditation, therapy, also just tasks that take you away from the stress, reading, working a puzzle, listening to a podcast, something to help your mind not go in every which way, okay? If you need to fight for something, let's say mediation or legal matters, Wednesday's your power's coming through because you can get what you want. This is about going to war, but it's also about winning. So if you need to fight on Wednesday, but make sure you're focused and not rambling. You would want to work with a lawyer to make sure that everything is pointed, is not ambiguous, but also not painting you in the corner. And that is something that a lawyer can help you do, okay? It can also just be a great day to get things done. Forward momentum, Chariot represents all of that, okay? I like Thursday here. This is showing potentially some friendships, some connections coming through, but you can't rush the connection. You might be the first one to show up. So I like that we see someone at an intersection in their life. The Four of Wands can represent a pivot emotionally where suddenly you think to yourself, I'm ready for something new or better to come in. And existing relationships are going to be held up to this test of, am I getting what I'm putting into this? Is this my ride or die? Because the Four of Wands is marriage, camaraderie, someone who, like a BFF, a bestie who has your back, someone who will go the distance. And if you're not feeling that in the connection that comes to mind on Thursday, then it might be time to reevaluate. Also, you're setting the stage. So for those that are single and looking, or maybe professionally looking to network, you have to set the stage and become the magnet. And then eventually someone else is going to meet you at that intersection. And I like that we see multiple directions. It could be coming from the past, from the periphery, or someone who has yet to show up. They're not within your visual sort of lens just yet, but that doesn't mean that they're not coming, okay? Don't force the connection, put it out there. give people time, space, etc. to agree that this is what they're looking for as well. Let me take a drink and then we're going to talk about Friday. Okay, I like Friday. We have 9 of Cups energy coming through, which represents dream fulfillment, particularly when it's in the upright position. Let your cup runneth over. I love this sort of army of angels that are working with you. She looks like she's having a good time. I want to hang out with her. If life could be that easy. So sometimes it can. I have a really wise neighbor who reminded me of a couple of things, so I'll borrow her wisdom here. One is to watch your words and watch your thoughts. I say this as well. My version of it is, words manifest. They're invocations. Speaking of magic, which we'll be looking at, you are what you say and you are what you think about yourself and the world around you. So use your words carefully. And you could say something like this, which is, what if it's easier? What if there's no struggle? What if I can just breeze through this rather than I have to fight? That's where she caught me the other day. She's like, this doesn't have to be a struggle. So thank you. I'm going to keep her identity private, but she's a very wise person. Okay. 9 of Cups also represents a moment where you just take some time to celebrate how far you've come, who in your life you can lean on, who you can trust, and have some fun. 3 of Cups, 9 of Cups, make sure you make time for joy and celebration. But if you want to do something, if you're trying to accomplish something, it's either happening or your army of guides, angels, and ascended masters are with you. And they're like, don't give up. Keep going. We're here. May not all be today, but we're here. They can see so much more than you, and they sometimes get frustrated that we are so literal and we are so kind of based on what's immediately in front of us, okay? Looking at the energy of Saturday, I like it. We have the Queen of Pentacles coming through. I love how all of these, at least the last couple of days, people are very taken care of. This Queen of Pentacles is having her best day. She's being literally lifted and taken somewhere. There's a cornucopia of food in front of her. She's fine. So she believes in her worth and she's just waiting for it to come to her. So Saturday is a great day to look at your budget, to look at your money, to have an important conversation about business, and to build something. What we don't see so much in this version of the card is the whole idea of birthing, creating, nurturing, manifesting, because that is also intrinsic to the Queen of Pentacles. So you can work your magic. This is a great day to work your magic on Saturday. And everything this week might be building up to that energy and that event. It's also a day where you focus on your environment because the King and the Queen of Pentacles are house, home, and stability. So make sure that you're comfortable. Make sure you're comfortable where you are. Who knows? Maybe I'll have things wrapped up by then. And I'll know where I'm going to be for the next month or two. But yeah, focus on those sorts of things that ground you and definitely take a look at resources. You can get them balanced out. Okay, now navigating to a week from today. We have the 4 of Pentacles in the reverse position. I like that this particular deck takes a little bit more of a Thoth approach. So for those who may be not as familiar, there's like 2 basic foundations in tarot, Rider-Waite-Smith, which is really what I read from, but I do own a Thoth deck, and some of the cards are slightly different in Thoth. One of those is the 4 of Pentacles, which is more like foundational. So typically you would see the 4 corners, the 4 elements, the beginnings. It's a beginning card, not the end. And so she's starting to build her sandcastle here. But it's sometimes with 4 of Pentacles, we think that's the best it is, or that's all that it is. And what Spirit's showing me is tip of the iceberg. There's more, and there should be more than you see. I don't have all my decks arranged like usual, so we're just going to talk about it. Normally, there's in the 4 of Pentacles, the person holds 1 coin over their heart, and they're holding on for dear life. And it's, what's the word here that I'm thinking of? A scarcity mindset. Had to focus for a second. I'm holding on to this because it's here. I'm holding on to this because it's predictable, because it's safe, because I'm expected to, but not because it makes my heart sing. And I really would love for you to have your heart sing. Don't allow people to take more than they should. Make sure that the balance is even. And if you need more, ask for more. if something doesn't work, the sandcastle can be rebuilt. And so you might be in that phase of rebuilding, okay? This was a fun deck to read with today. This is why I like to read with different decks, because the different illustrations really bring out different connotations of all the cards. Okay, highlights and challenges for the week ahead, and then I'll move along to the elements. Highlights, right here. The Chariot. I think it's the highest suit for the week. It's also just super focused, and I feel very good about this. And it also feels like the energy starts to pick up at least for the next 2 to 3 days afterwards. So Wednesday's a high point, Friday because it's dream and wish manifestation, and Saturday. So Friday, Wednesday, Saturday looking amazing. I think today's a little challenging because of focus, and Monday. The rest of the week is pretty good. And we're going to meet next week anyway, so don't worry too much about Sunday. All right, I'm just going to leave this deck and keep using it, rearrange a little bit so I have some more room. We're going to move on next to the elements. The elements are going to help us basically take a quick pulse. This will especially help the signs that are waiting, which I think is Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. I will make time today and get them done. I was so frustrated yesterday that I had to do the move. I'm like, I could have been done with everything. But life gets in the way, and health first. I also realized that I am too experienced in my years to be doing a move like that without help. So even though I was just moving things here, it was a lot. It took my wind away. So thank you for giving me time and energy. Sometimes life throws you a little bit of a curveball. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in fire, earth, air, and water. All right, we're going to start with the fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I like it. 6 of Swords. I'm not surprised with Aries. You've got so many planetary placements right now. You're kind of like, there's a lot going on. We're all being affected by Aries right now. 6 of Swords. So things are either starting, ending, or in the middle of movement. That's the key word. Things are moving. Now, are you on board? Are you leading? Are you a passenger? What's the level of your involvement in this moment? Decide. Because if you want to steer the ship, you can, particularly at the midweek point. If you want to just let someone else drive, make sure you communicate what you want, what your expectations are. And if you're looking for a week in which you can announce, launch, or resolve things, this is the week. Swords is communications, though. Swords is action. So it requires your communication and your action. You can passively let things happen, but you're not in your power if you're passive this week. I think you can do so much more by taking the wheel or taking the oars and steering the ship, if you will. Okay. I also see this. I like the drawbridge here, or just the bridge in general, and it looks like things are starting to lift. So previous blocks, mental, environmental, monetary, etc., health, they start to seem to be lifting in this moment. Embrace that. Feels like many of you have been waiting for a minute or two. So this is the moment to really say, all right, let's do this. I mean, it's up to you, but I feel like it's good. And by the way, Sagittarius, we saw you here. The middle of the week is your best day. But all of the fire signs, I feel pretty good about movement, breakthroughs. The only challenge might be in how fast things are moving, or that you have to move. I'm not even in this sign group, but something like what I did, where you have to make a shift, make a movement in your life, and sometimes there's no time to hesitate. You just have to do it, okay? Speaking from experience. All right, moving on from fire to earth. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So slight revisionary energy with the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, but highly creative. For those of you that are writers or trying to document something, this is the card of writing. This is also the card of learning. So if you're wanting to go back to school, if you're self-teaching yourself something, or if you're just finally seeing a lesson, like a karmic lesson coming through, with the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, it's saying, if you slow down for a moment and really kind of drink it in and say, oh, this is what it's all about. This is why it's been happening. You can almost like skip a grade, skip a level, just by having that internal awareness coming through. So I highly encourage you to take time to tune in. This is also about journaling. I mentioned that. It's a great way for you to work through some of these questions because when it's on paper or when you talk to someone, you can kind of talk yourself through it, through the challenge in front of you, okay? Finish what you started. You're closer than you think, whether it's school, a project, etc. Three of Pentacles is about really just doing it and feeling good about it, okay? Typically, you would see a, what do you call that? An archway in this card that someone is building. You want to not take shortcuts there because they're usually working at like the keystone, the final level. This final thing that you're doing is going to be the most important thing. Even though you want to rush, don't, okay? And also, if you need to send something out written, this is a good week to do just that. I like it. Great energy, but there needs to be a little bit of a pause, a pivot, or some reflection in order to fully navigate it and see the big picture. Air signs, you need to rest. I definitely connect to that. So we see someone here meditating. Rest isn't just sleep. It's finding stillness. It's taking time to tune in. It's also like creating some space in your mind to receive, make room for intuition to come through. Otherwise, it's hard, right? It's hard to do that. Quality and quantity of sleep is important. There are nights where you can get away with a little bit less, but when you do that, you're probably going to need to take a nap or do your best to catch up. I know scientists say you can never truly catch up, but you can reset the cycle a little bit. So make sure that you give yourself a chance to not burn the candle at both ends. This represents putting to rest a cycle in your life, speaking of cycles. So if you've been challenged with money, health, living situation, whatever, this is good for you too because it shows closure, but you have to change it up. Whatever wasn't working before, whatever you didn't do before, this time do it so you can put it to rest. And if you've been struggling with grief or something else, the Four of Swords is that moment of peace. Finally, some peace of mind, finally some peace in your life is coming through, okay? Now let's move on to the water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, we have Knight of Pentacles in the reverse position. So for many of you, there may be an overwhelming amount of pressure associated with performance in your life. Like, I have to be this for this person. I need to do this for myself. I need to earn this because of whatever. And it feels like it's becoming overwhelming. Take some time to nurture yourself. Knights, when reversed, recalibrate. They slow down and take a look behind them and say, is this still what I want? Am I like redoubling my efforts unnecessarily? What's this all about? And really looking at the investment of time, energy, money, resources overall. If you need something, ask. If you're exhausted, rest. If also make sure that you are eating properly and eating enough. Sometimes when we're in a hurry, we go to like sugary foods or processed foods or fast food. Don't do that this week. Not only is that, it's a short win, but then it takes more than it gives because your body has to process the sugar and some of the preservatives and all that stuff. So really kind of fuel yourself with premium fuel when it comes to food, organic vegetables, wonderfully healthy dishes overall, whatever works for you. You are what you eat, and you also are what you put into your energy system. So some of you may be frustrated because you're having a hard time just sort of like getting your energy where it needs to be. So rest, meditation, and then who you're surrounding yourself with, that's important because that gets into, processing, releasing, etc. Okay? I'm going to, I need to blow my nose, so I'm going to do that off camera. I'll leave the camera down for a second so you can see all of the beautiful cards, and then I'll be back in just a moment. Like, subscribe, and leave a super sticker if you'd like to. I'll be right back. All right, thank you for that. A little resting Apollo for some relaxation as well. Okay, we are actually at the special topic, aren't we? Who knew it? All right, as I'm getting ready to see how and where we can work our magic, again, a reminder to subscribe if you haven't already done so, to help us meet the target if you'd like to. And if you need more information about me, you can always go to my website where you can find out all my social media. handles, how to book an appointment if you'd like to, how to give back. All that stuff is there. So you can go to my website for more information on that. Okay, in the meantime, let me go ahead and select a deck for this special topic. It needs to be kind of magical, so give me a second. I have to go to the side here. That's one. It'll take me a minute as we go through this because all my cards, I had to kind of like bring some with me here today. So we're going to let Spirit decide, although I'm kind of drawn, you know what? I think I'm going to do Wildwood. I just feel drawn to that as I was looking at the cards. I'm like, this is the one. We're going to do Wildwood for this. And I'm just going to do a general pull, and then I'm not going to do Health, Wealth, Love, and Destiny because I feel like doing free pulls after this. So I want to look and see what's going on with everybody. And then I might include those categories in how and where to work your magic, but this is a different topic, so it requires a different approach. So we're going to try something different. I'll still pull a catalyst, though. And then some of you can also let me know where you're trying to work your magic, but wait until I get to that portion. All right, let's get... I like this one. Yeah, this one is so fun because I love all the animals. I love the different illustrations. It helps you work a little bit more on an intuitive level. Okay. Let's dig in. Let's see what's going on with your catalyst. We're not meditating. Sorry about that, wrong card. All right. So catalyst. Loving kindness for difficult people. Oh boy. Okay. May you be filled with peace. Meanwhile, there are volcanoes. There are volcanoes erupting. Loving kindness for difficult people. So, I recently had an experience that I think will help with this. It was at the latter part of last week when I learned that I was probably going to need to do this interim move. I got an email from somebody, and I don't usually have this. I'm usually able to stay grounded, but my heart started to beat faster. Like I could feel it palpitating, and I was frustrated. I was angry, and I knew that the email lacked integrity. I was like, and it took me a better part of a day because it wasn't right, and I had to fight for myself. I'm like, so I've, for like 4 or 5 days, had to be dealing with stuff that could have allowed me to be doing readings, but personal safety was important. So that also made me angry, and I had to release that. So what I finally I meditated. I'm like, what is this about? And Spirit showed me that the person who sent the email was extremely unhappy in their life and in their job. I was like, oh, I'm picking up on their stress. Not just mine, it was doubled. So because I'm empathic and my third eye just keeps opening up, I can sometimes in a text, I've gotten that before where if someone sent me an angry text, it felt like there were needles in my right hand because they were right-handed. I'm like, ooh, what's that pain? And then I got the text and I'm like, oh, they sent daggers through. I'm not going to read this I'm going to take a deep breath because they're upset. So this time it went to my heart. I've watched other mediums that have empathy as a sort of gift. Tyler Henry's one of them. And he'll talk about, okay, I've got tightness here. I was like, what's going on? She needs to be careful because that's going to eventually lead to things like a heart attack. I had to work all day to pull, thank God I'm on high blood pressure meds, right? I had to work all day to pull my energy down and identify the source and create distance. I was like, that's you, not me. And I released that. I don't need to pull in your energy. So if you have a parent, a boss, a random acquaintance, someone in your life that sends you an angry message, voicemail, text, email, letter, doesn't matter, poison pen. Don't read it in the moment. And when you do read it, take a deep breath or have someone else look at it or realize the source. Think about the source. Once I did that, my energy came back. I was like, oh, it's you, not me, actually. Okay. Now I can deal with this. Now I know what to do. But I couldn't do anything for about a day because I had to kind of like recalibrate. Sometimes empathy isn't fun, but I'm appreciative for the gift. But you have to figure out, where is it coming from? This isn't me. That doesn't happen with me. I don't get upset like that. Why is it happening? Either there's an environmental trigger or something new in the equation. Sometimes it can be health, but it wasn't with me because I've been a ton of doctors. But it was someone else's energy and their anger that probably they even had to be writing a note. And I'm like, ugh, if everyone could just breathe before they write something, that would be good. Okay? So what I realized, and the way that I got to loving kindness, is this person hates their life right now or hates their job. They're in a worse situation than I am. I'm going to be fine. So I'm not going to take anything that this person says too seriously. And then I was free. And I hope that they get some happiness in their life. And I certainly hope the same for me and everyone else. So the kindness was, if I felt even a little piece of that, imagine what that person must be going through. And also, like, what will happen if they don't find a way to manage that, because it's going to end up in their heart space. I'm not their medium, and I'm not going to bother bringing all of that up. All right, let's go to the center of the spread. We have the Ace of Pentacles here in the reverse position, foundation of life. I see the Ace of Pentacles in particular as a seed, or almost like a single cell organism. It all begins somewhere, and you have no idea how big or how far something can go. So, first message about how you can work your magic. You don't even know how big this could be. So when you manifest, don't box yourself in. And again, the easiest thing, write it down, put a sticky on your computer, put it by the mirror in the morning. I'm open to receive all of this or greater for my highest good. If you put that in, it's going to be very hard to receive something that's not good for you, that's too much for you. You can even put all of this or greater in the time that I can manage it for my highest good. Whatever, you can add that little net of protection and expansion. If you do that, Spirit may give you an upgrade. And it's like not just +1, it's like plus 101. Just imagine that you can receive more. Okay, so that's one. You don't know until you ask. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse is a hand. So normally in Rider-Waite-Smith, there's the hand giving, but the hand could be out there asking or receiving. So if it's inadequate, if it's not enough, you can say, I need more in order to do this, or just, this isn't enough, I need more, full stop. It depends what you're trying to accomplish. Keep it factual, ask for what you need, and put your hand out there and say, let's do this. This can be a handshake. I'm interested. Are you? It's a question when reversed. It's not you receiving, it's you initiating. Remember, for the signs that got the Six of Swords, I mentioned, why be the passenger when you can be the driver? So this is very much driving the sort of like resource management. We need some more of this, or I like that, or this isn't enough, or I want to do this. Do you? That's the Ace of Pentacles reversed. That's why I read reversals for everyone's like, why are there so many reversals? Because they give different messages. That's how it sounds in my head when I see that same comment that I have received a bazillion times. Or why are there so many? And for the dailies, by the way, there's a 50-50 chance every single day that you could get a reversal. So if we did the odds and looked at them, they're probably even over time. People that fixate on reversals, I'm like, it's a cup half full sort of thing. And why aren't you listening to the message? It doesn't matter. It's just how Source shows it to me so I can manage it. So for everybody that watches this PSA, please don't put that comment. Because it doesn't mean anything. It's just how the message shows up. All right. Six of Swords coming through. Transition. Sorry, I'm sure many other readers have the same frustration. So anyway, Six of Swords, actually not in the reverse position, it's in the crossing position. So we have transition and movement. The transition thing is really important because some of you may be finally ready to move on. And here's the thing. Are you ready to let go? For those of you that got the Four of Pentacles, this is especially for you, or that resonated with that, because I can't remember which day that showed up for. This is a time to really think to yourself, why am I holding on? Why am I afraid to put one foot in that direction and just go for it? Okay? If there's anything that you need to launch or send out, do it now. This is a great time to do it. Why are you dragging your feet? So another way that you can work your magic is by delivering, getting out there, moving. Now is the time, okay? Changing up your environment, an actual move can help. I actually feel so much better from a health perspective. I was having problems. I actually think everything I was going through for 6 months was because of that stupid thing. Like, I had to go to an ophthalmologist because of my eyes, and I almost lost my hearing, and all that stuff was allergic reactions to mold. So your change of environment, sometimes it can be a toxic relationship, sometimes it's a toxic environment, sometimes it's a work situation that isn't giving, it's taking more than it's giving. When you leave it, it's like, oh my gosh, I can see and think and breathe clearer. So it can be literal or metaphoric. So whatever that might be, it's time to move, folks. It's time to move on, okay? You got a couple things coming through in the past. We have the Great Bear, which is the Judgment card, and the Hooded Man, which is the Hermit. All right, so we'll talk about the Great Bear. This is one of my favorite Judgment cards because it's like one final test. The bear is there. I like to imagine it as a bear that will smile once you go underneath the portal. It's kind of looking all gruff and protective just to say, are you sure? Are you ready? And if you are, then it's much brighter on the other side. But there might be a final test where you have to stand up to the bear. And it might be someone in your life in a bad mood who cast judgment on you. And by the way, people can judge you all they want. It's personally, it's none of your business or their business what they have to think. That's just an opinion. When you leave your body after you transition into spirit, you sit with yourself and with your guides, and you look at your life and you judge you. Because we are all connected to divine energy. Call it God, call it whatever. But it's not like that deity comes through and wags its finger. You look at yourself with compassion and with judgment and say, I did okay, I could have done better. I did a great job here. Wow, I really kind of dropped the ball, but I understand why. Next lifetime, we'll fix it. You're the only one judging yourself at the end. When people in your life wag a finger, quote scripture, quote laws, all this other stuff, they're just speaking from fear and probably something in their own life that they haven't resolved. Let it go. Kind of like the email that I got from somebody. When someone sits there on a pulpit and spews hate, I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on inside, my dear? Where is this coming from? Because I don't hate you. Why do you hate me? Let the judgment go, okay? And to that end, the best way to transmute it is either with a smile or indifference or love if you can find it. It's sometimes hard when someone is throwing all that out there. But right now, in particular, LGBTQ people are getting a lot of that hate. And love is love. Love is the universal currency of the universe, and we should just be loving people. And that's what Jesus would be saying. That's what all the Ascended Masters would be saying. And anybody that quotes the opposite, they're not seeing it from the big picture. So whether it's who you date, what you do for a living, how you live your life, if you're single or divorced or whatever, who cares? And anyone that's casting judgment, they need to walk many miles in your shoes, okay? You're wiser than you realize, as I throw the card at the camera. The Hooded Man, the Hermit, has been around more than once. We all have. Anybody, and I guarantee you, if you're watching my reading, it is not your first incarnation. I don't know many people on the planet where it is, but who knows? There's probably some first souls that are coming through. But most of the people that watch my channel have been on the planet for a long time. So you have wisdom within you to fight and to overcome and to thrive in this moment. Don't be afraid to shine. One of my favorite lines from Stardust is the movie, but also the book, is, what does a star do? It shines. So you all are stellar, And this is a moment where you can shine. And one thing that you can do when you're in the sort of energy of judgment is beam your light and beam your wisdom and your insight out. And diffuse it with calm, kind, loving energy. There are many, many great leaders who could do that. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi. There's recent examples as well, but what you see with that is nonviolence, logic, and dreaming energy. One thing that I like about Martin Luther King Jr. was his ability to project a positive future that didn't exist. I have a dream. I have a vision. And don't you think you might want to come here with me? Like, let's do it. Even if it's not in my lifetime, it's possible. Let's march towards that. Literally, let's march. So we need more of that. More kind of like, instead of judging, dreaming. Instead of wagging a finger, giving a hug. And honestly, the person that's wagging their finger probably needs a hug. They have been rejected. They have been hurt. And all they can do is try to bring other people down. It's frustrating because I see so much of the finger wagging right now, and we really need much more loving and hugging and supporting. We'll get there. The pendulum swings. Right now it's swinging towards a destabilized energy, but what we're going through planetarily, on a planetary level right now is tower energy and judgment energy. So the pieces need to be broken down, but you will rise up. So typically in a usual judgment card, souls rise up. So we're going to get there. It's a question of, is it months, years? It won't be a full decade, but when you look at the 20s of the last decade, so the 1920s, there was a lot that was happening in the 20s and 30s. And it wasn't really until the 40s that things kind of got better, the end of the 40s. So, I mean, kind of like from a century to century standpoint, it's tracking. Governmental systems are in turmoil, empires rising and falling, hate and shadow energy coming to the center stage. But look at what happened in the last century after that happened. Massive improvements. So if we can stay out and fight through and love through this moment on the planet, then there's going to be some great things in the next 20 to 30 years. And it will take that amount of time to fully see the big picture. Because so much is being dismantled in this moment, it's going to take a couple of decades. And then there'll be a new world order and a new world. And we're in the age of Aquarius, but wow, there's a lot that had to come out, like fall away from the Piscean age. And it's holding on. Even some people from the previous century, like the earlier they're holding on to their stations, and it's taking a while for the new energy to come through. But it's happening, folks. Don't give up. We're all going through this together, okay? Yeah, there's so many great songs about love. I think someone's quoting the Beatles, All We Need Is Love, right? That's a great song. Love Will Lead You Back. What was that song? I can hear it in my head, but I don't know who sang it. But was that Gloria Estefan? Or I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot of great songs about love. Listen to them. Listen to The Power of Love. That was Celine Dion. But every single major pop diva and band has done something about love. What about love? Was that Heart? I can go, I love music. So what about love? Because now we have the Knight of Cups coming through. And it's kind of interesting because this Knight of Cups is sort of sneaky and it's on the periphery. So, ye of little faith, for those of you that are thinking, where is my knight in shining armor? First of all, you are your own knight in shining armor. And just like, one thing that I liked about Game of Thrones was her name Brianna? Whatever. The tall woman knight. Knights don't need to be gendered. You can be your own knight in shining armor. And you should be. Be the one that you love, and love yourself and cherish yourself, and don't accept less than that in your partner, in your friends, in your familial group as well. Lead with love, but also demand the same love that you give back to others, okay? Knights, not afraid to go after what they want. Even if you fumble the flirtation, so I don't know who was flirting poorly, but the other party eventually caught on. So just do it. Someone may actually laugh a little bit and think, okay, well, that was awkward but sweet, and maybe I'll have coffee with this person, right? Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Okay, let's look at the crowning position. I'm glad we chose this deck because this is the right one. I can tell with these images, they're helping me connect. Okay, so Two of Pentacles. This reminds me of the kind of slapstick comedic stuff when you see people fighting like this, but not really throwing punches. So you might be wasting time with someone, and it does say challenge, someone that is unwilling, unready, or incapable of opening up the purse string and giving you what you need for something. If someone won't commit, because typically, by the way, this would show someone trying to get their balance. They're like on one foot. You see the ocean behind them. It's like topsy-turvy. They don't know what they want. They're not in. You can find someone that's more committed. I just am getting a lack of commitment. If you're a little wishy-washy on something, look into that. Whether it's love, relationship, or some volunteer thing. Why? If you have to convince yourself, oh God, here we go again. It's Monday or whatever, like that is telling. I've been there. I was there in my previous corporate life, as many of you know. But one day I woke up and thought, there's more. There's more than this. So I owe it to myself, and I owe it to the people that depend on me to be giving 100%. Now, my 90% was like 110% because I'm a workaholic and have Capricorn ascendant and all that jazz. But it wasn't my best, and that bothered me. And so like what I'm doing today, despite everything that's gone on, this is my best. This is still 100. I always give 100. And if I can't, then I don't. That's why the last 3 signs are waiting, but it's always worth the wait with me. So because I want to show up authentically and powerfully. And that's with however much time I got on this planet, I want to give my best. So if you can't give your best, and if you don't want to give your best, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And are you in or are you out? Okay? Now from a more tactical, practical, and reading it at face value, don't overextend yourself. In your money, in your health. I had to take 2 naps yesterday. I realized I should have hired help yesterday, even for this small thing. So don't stretch the rubber band too thin. And I almost did yesterday. And I'm like, go to sleep, take a break. You're going to get everything done later. It's going to be fine. But don't stretch yourself too thin. It isn't worth it, folks. Okay? And maybe this is a week where you are a little bit lighter on spending. Save wherever possible. I need another drink, and then we're going to talk about this. Okay. You aren't your mom, you aren't your dad, you aren't your relatives. We have the ancestors here representing hierarchy, representing the Hierophant, and you march to the beat of your own drum. So a reversed ancestral card or a reversed Hierophant card is saying, I honor, maybe understand, but I also don't align to what I've been taught or raised to be. I'm happy that it gave me certain levels of understanding to operate in this world, but I need to be different. Build your own life. Do your own thing. You're not always going to get the approval. This can be a gatekeeper, a super stubborn person, and they're like, this is the way. There's no room for wiggling, for adjusting. It's like my way or the highway. Very exhausting, very limited to kind of have to work with someone in that caliber. So just move in a different direction and know that you don't owe them any sort of explanation, really, okay? Get organized. It's also a call to action from the universe, but also try something different. What worked before doesn't work now, and the magic is in the experimentation. And being okay with not knowing everything. None of us do. We wouldn't be here on this planet if we did. We would be an ascended master teaching other people. Okay. You came through this month with another ace, and we already had it coming through in the weekly card reading. So the Ace of Cups in the reverse position, Waters of Life. When it's upright, like it is normally illustrated, it shows flow, fluidity, the natural sort of ability for things to just go where they need to. The heart was blocking me last week. It's open now. But if you're feeling frustration, sadness, fear, anxiety, anger, these things block the heart. Breathe and honor the emotion. I am angry. Why am I angry? How can I release the anger? Where is this coming from? Or I am sad. What's the source? And in the case of sad, I would take away the I am, because I am feeling sad. Put an adverb or a verb in front of it in order to modify it, because we don't want you to be the thing. You can feel the thing, but you aren't the thing, the emotion. I am feeling angry. I'm not anger. So isn't it weird how we say I'm sad, but in anger, you don't say I'm anger. I'm angry or I'm hungry. But for some reason with sadness, we say you are the thing. Isn't that weird? Language is powerful. I don't like that. I feel sad. That could pass today, tomorrow, the next day, whatever. I'm not sadness. So work through that. Work through the emotion and don't let the emotion define you. You are more than your feelings. Your feelings are a compass, but they don't define you. But you may need someone, because sometimes the feelings are strong, especially if there's, for those of you that have clinical depression or any sort of chemical imbalance, that's when you work with someone to help you chemically balance so you can see beyond it. So if you need help, get the help, obviously. But for everyone else where it's just a passing moment, kind of like I had the other day, I actually sat and thought, this isn't me. What is this? And I had to close my eyes and think what it was. I'm like, oh, it's just something around me. And it's in my auric field. I need to sweep the energy clean. I need to push that out. So you are not your emotions, but your emotions are in your auric field. And you may need to do some things today or whenever you watch this to clear, cleanse, and clarify. And that could involve therapy. It could involve medication. It could involve education. It could be, if I didn't say meditation is the number one go-to for me, but somehow getting a larger view of what's going on. The emotions are just there to stop and help you observe. It's the scab. It's not what caused the wound. It's not what's beneath it. That's all it is, okay? That can help you out just a little bit. And I'm absolutely honoring however you feel. I'm not saying that some of us aren't more sensitive. Like I just said, I have empathy, so I feel things that aren't even me. So I'm a highly sensitive person, like a lot of mediums are. But sometimes we go through moments when we lose someone in particular where we are depressed for a while. But it isn't a permanent state. I would encourage you in these situations to say, I'm feeling, I'm receiving, I'm in the energy of, but I am not this. That will help you transmute it. I mean, we could take this so much further. I'm fascinated because I like language, whether it's English or any other language, because I'm always fascinated with how different languages approach things and change the word order and all of that. But yeah, like when we say things like, I am married or I am divorced, we are also putting too much weight into things like that. It's almost like we should say I'm with someone, but like I'm not the thing. I'm not just the partnership. The partnership is part of me. So we give too much power to what's in our life sometimes. I am single. I am married. I am divorced. Who cares? Like that shouldn't define you. It shouldn't be a definition. So let's think about that. Let's think about the power of identifying with a part of ourselves. It doesn't have to be the whole. Use your words wisely and create a better language around it. And English does have weird grammar. One thing that I like when I was studying, I know Spanish very well. I've been studying that actually a lot for the past year or so, but also I took like 3 years in high school. I studied 4 years of French. I've also studied Swedish. Swedish is fun because the verbs don't change in the present tense anyway. So whether it's, I, you, we, it's just like, especially the word to be, ar. So jag, ar, du, ar. Like you can just, it's all the same. I'm like, ooh, I love that. Wouldn't it be great if you just used, and you kind of hear it in, like people just say I be, you be, whatever. Sometimes it happens when people don't know how to conjugate the word to be. But like there are some languages where it's so much easier. I'm like, why can't we do that? That's easy. I don't love the endings in the Romance languages because I'm so used to English. It's only because I was born into English, but it's harder for me to learn 15 to 17 different endings. I'm like, I think that's complicated. But anyway, one thing that I like sometimes is the change of the order. They modify it sometimes before or after, and I think we need to keep ourselves and then modify it and just say, I'm this and I feel that, or I have that. So create your own new language around love, sickness, health, disease, whatever, and make sure that you don't lose you in the identification of that, right? Okay. In the environment, Nine of Pentacles, reversed. Take your time. So the Nine of Stones in this deck, tradition. We're breaking with tradition, like literally. The Hierophant represents tradition. This card is showing tradition. But the fact that it's reversed, for those that are like, why is it reversed? The reversal is saying, I need to try something different. I like that we have two snakes, the Ouroboros in this hand, and then the snake over here. So one of them is rigid, one of them is flexible, and you're going to have to find your way between the two. There are times when you're going to have to be a little bit more flexible. There are times when you're going to have to stand up for yourself and be powerful. The snake can represent both. Nine of Pentacles, I think they chose snakes instead of snails, but snakes are, and even like eels, you may have to just sort of like gently ease yourself into or out of something. You are so close to the finish line, not sign, but you need to finish what you've started here. What is it that's holding you back? Perfectionist tendencies, other people's judgment, because we got that. Is it your own sort of like fear over, I got to get all this done? When I was setting up my office yesterday, I think I might have taken 3 naps because I was so tired. But I was like, all right, first thing, just get all this stuff from one place to another. Take a nap, cuddle with Apollo. All right, let's set everything up. Like all the lights, I have a camera, all this stuff. I was like, all right, but then I have to like connect everything. So that would be part 3. Then I'll test it. I just kept taking naps because I'm like, this is overwhelming, but I have to get it done. So I just paced myself, and it was like 12 hours of work. So I got it done. I'm tired, but I finished it because I had no choice. Sometimes you have to just say, I owe it to myself to finish this. I know I'll be okay tomorrow. So pace yourself. Don't do it in one fell swoop. Ask for help, which I should have done yesterday, so that you don't exhaust yourself. Sometimes it's worth shelling out a little bit extra so you have more of yourself at the end of the day. I used to work a production job, and this would have been something where 2 PAs would have helped. There would have been like a PA and a producer, 2 PAs and a producer. It was a 3-person job, not a 1-person job. But be that as it may, you have a great ability to do this on your own. This is fiercely independent, but you don't always want to do it on your own, per my example. All right, as we take a look at hopes, fears, and opportunities, divine partnership. The flirtation energy that I picked up on, it's real, folks. For some of you, if you're looking for love, you can find it. It just may be weird, like the communication of it, something was off, or it comes out of left field. So this is Queen, not a Queen of Cups, but Queen of Arrows, so Queen of Swords. So it's a knight and a queen. I have to look at these because they're different. Sometimes I like the traditional cards for a reason, but it's okay. So the Queen of Swords. Look at swans, graceful, clear, confident. You have the potential to be all of this. Someone in your life may not have all of that. This is someone who is a little slippery with their communication. So the Knight of Cups, it feels like might be fumbling it a little bit or might be sliding around the point. And the Queen of Swords is just going to come in and say, were you flirting? Or are you upset? Or what's going on? Like, she's going to get the clarity. Or she'll just say what she wants. So if your tendency in the past was to beat around the bush, she's going to just dig up the whole bush and step forward and say, let's talk. Your direct energy is advantageous right now. Be direct. In relationships, there could be a maturity or communication difference, maybe even an age difference, but Queen and Knight are pretty close. So I do think there's compatibility there. There was just something very odd about particularly how someone felt. Whatever they're feeling, it didn't come through clearly, and it took a few passes to understand. So just ask a question. That would be my advice there. You may have an opportunity to speak up, speak out, or maybe even be in a public speaking sort of arena. Go for it if you'd like to. Okay? Now, hello, here we go with Four of Cups. She is a little bored and kind of missing the big picture. So what I don't love about this, but I don't have the deck in front of me, so I'm just going to explain it because most of us know Rider-Waite-Smith. So the Four of Cups typically has 3 cups in front of the person, 1 floating. The floating one is kind of like the Rider-Waite-Smith card. This person's missing that. They're missing that something is easier than they think or less complicated than they imagine. With the traditional illustration, them looking at what's in front of them, they're not spilled, they're just upright. 3 cups here, 1 cup here. So not like the 5 or the 4 of Cups where usually there's some spillage. This is just like, I don't see what I want. I'm not where I want to be. Good. Now you can figure out what you want and you can open yourself up, because knowing what you don't like and you don't want is just as valuable as having what you want or knowing what you want. So use that to calibrate. Well, it's definitely not this person, it's not this place, it's not this feeling. I think I want that. You could reach out and create your own 4th cup. Now in this one, they're kind of getting at it by here. Like, so there's these cups in the air. She doesn't see them because look at her. She doesn't look very happy. She could be tired. She could be burned out. She could be jealous, because it's often a card of comparison. My friend has this. My parents had that. You have this. I don't. Why not? So don't get jealous, get inspired. Get inspired to see how you could create it, because so you think someone else got it easier or deserves it less than you. Don't think that way, first of all. But if you wonder, why don't I have it? Think, wow, maybe I could have that or even greater, because I feel like there's an affinity in it. Like energy attracts like energy. So why not? That is a more powerful way to look at it than why not? Like, why not in a playful and energetic way? Show me, Spirit. I think I would like something like this. Maybe something better. And I'm so happy that my friend, colleague, family member achieved this. Good for them. Maybe I should talk to them. How did you do it? So rather than getting angry, get informed, get curious, get inspired, be imaginative. That's how you transmute the 4 of Cups. Just like the 4 of Pentacles, it's not all there yet. It's just the emotions blocking the way, okay? So I want to do something different today. I'm going to reset the cards, and we're going to look at areas in your life. I'm going to go through spirit, because I kind of feel, oddly enough, since I've been going through all this stuff, I'm kind of more open today as a channel. So let me put Apollo on the screen. Oh my God, he's so cute. This angle is better than I usually have. Let me go ahead and find a deck that speaks to me, and you can just give Apollo some virtual pets while I'm doing that. Yes, buddy, we're talking about you. I know. Good boy. I know. Okay, let's see. What is coming through here? He is the cutest dog on earth, I think, in my opinion. Let's leave him there for a second. I think I'm going to do this Celtic deck. Okay. I'd like to just pull a single card and see. He's closer to me, and I had to change the angle. Sometimes change is good, right? This is just for a week, by the way, that I'm here. I hope no more than a week, and then I'll be in another place in my apartment complex, and then I'm probably going to move again, and I'm really tired of moving too. For people that ask, like, why, I think this time, if I were to kind of just talk about myself for 1 second, it was so that I could use my voice. I'm fighting and advocating for myself, and I didn't last time, and I am this time. So I want to resolve it, and I'm like, this isn't fair. You need to do this. I need to do that. This needs to happen. And I'm being very outspoken. It's energy, but sometimes we have to fight for ourselves, right? So for those of you that have seen cycles in relationships where it's like, why is it the same person? Sometimes you have to have the uncomfortable conversation and let people know how you feel. And when you're empathetic, when you're psychic, when you're sensitive, you worry about others, but sometimes you have to do what's right and what's best for you. So for me, that's one thing that I've identified in that. Also, just landlords suck sometimes. All right. I'd like to clear my energy and clear your energy since I talked about myself for a second. Let's take a moment and ground. Put your feet on the ground, put your hands on the table or on your lap, and just let go for a second. Let's tune back into the golden light of source energy. See a bright sun above you. Imagine that you can look with your third eye, not your actual eyes, and you can see it. You could actually have the third eye focus on the brilliant energy until all that you have around you is golden light. It's embracing you like a blanket. It's going through your body, healing, clearing, and opening you up. And it's connecting you to what? Your magic, because that's this whole reading today. So show me your biggest blessing and block. Haven't done that in a minute. We have two very fun cards here. I'm just going to leave it a little higher up. So we have your blessing as the Four of Cups in reverse. So yet another interpretation of it. This person is finding that cup within. You realize what I seek in my life isn't necessarily going to be delivered in the environment. One day my prince will come. No, you are your prince. You are your knight. You've got the love within. And people in your life are going to be attracted to the love, acceptance, passion, joy, and completeness that you have within. We are not looking for someone to complete us. Compliment us, yes, but not complete us. Also, you're able to find a strength and a power in your heart that didn't exist there before, and acceptance that didn't exist there before. Because it's reversed, some of you are still finding your way towards this reverse Four of Cups, which is all the things that I just mentioned. Don't give up. So your blessing is seeing beyond. Wasn't that the title for today? See beyond the moment? That's one of the most powerful things that Spirit has kind of conveyed, that arrangement of words. Today feels intense. Tomorrow could be better. You make me angry. I may not feel that way in an hour. I'm hungry, but after I have a snack, I might not be. Like, these are states of being. I don't know why I'm clapping. That's what I was trying to get to, is don't take a state of being and make it your life. Alanis Morissette talked a little bit about this and how people wanted to keep her in the angry woman mode. She was like, of all the things that I could be associated with, I don't mind kind of being the spokesperson for anger at that point in time. She's not anymore. She still feels anger, and she's not afraid to channel it, and she definitely is intuitive. I can tell. She just writes in the flow. But she was like, that was a moment, and it needed to come out, and I needed to transmute it. But she's now, if you listen to some of her other stuff, like Flavors of Entanglement or former supposed infatuation junkie, she has long titles. Girlfriend, shorten it a bit. But her music changed. There was a piece to it. Thank You is a great example where she's like thanking all the things in her life for where she is right now, including, anger, hunger, all the sort of things around her. And it's like, okay, I'm okay now. Thanks for the lesson. So use gratitude to change your emotions and to change your attitude on things. It's a blessing and a key that you have, but it's hard to sometimes connect to. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad, but you are not that. You feel that. And you may feel it from time to time or for a long time, but it doesn't have to define you. Nor does your attachment or detachment from a person, your employment status, your religion, your orientation, your gender. It's all just this. Like when we leave here, this is an outfit that we release. So every lifetime, and I will tell you this, like I've seen probably around 10 of my past incarnations. I've been every gender, I've been every economic status. A lot of my lifetimes have been spiritual. So I've been most religions too. It's like language. There's about, 100 different ways to say the same thing in not one language, but if we looked at all of them, expressing yourself through these different modes. That's all this is. That's all this life is. And that's why when you judge someone for any of those inconsequential things, you're going to you have to repeat the lesson next lifetime. So don't. So gender, wealth, status, ability or challenges, whatever. It isn't how you judge someone's character. Here, that's where it's at. Heart, wisdom, and then their actions. That's how you judge them, not by the body and not by any of those other things. So if you can see that, you will not get distracted. What's your block? Well, maybe what I just talked about. I don't see it. Faith, focus, and knowing that sometimes the best is yet to come. Two of Swords is way too scientific method, and I'm very happy that we have the scientific method, but not when it comes to manifestation. Even scientists, they have theories, right? And they theorize about what could be. So Galileo and Einstein looked at the stars and looked at the universe and said, I don't think we know everything. What about this? That doesn't make sense. They asked questions. They made up theories and postulated about things and explored. Science is never just... So that's why I'm like, science and math, we're constantly learning new things. We don't fully understand black holes. We don't know what's on the other end. We don't know what like a white hole might be like, or if we're in a black hole in this universe, or how big the universe is, or how many universes there might be. So with all the unknowns, who knows what 5 minutes from now or 1 day from now could be. So know what you don't know, and leave room to be pleasantly surprised. If it's not in front of you, okay. It doesn't mean a darn thing. It just means it's not in front of you right now. Okay. So your magic is in imagining what else could be, and also knowing that you don't know what the universe might be bringing forth. Let me look at the poll real quick and see what some of you are feeling right now. Stress, okay. Stress and goals and money. All right. So let's pull a little bit on these on how and where, because part of this was like focusing on where you could work some of the magic today. All right. Managing stress. I think I've given some of us some ideas on this today, but okay. Sorry, I meant to keep this down. All right. So show me what's going on with stress right now. What do we need to know? Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. This deck is difficult. That's why I picked it. All right, so we have loving kindness for self. Some of you are still being too hard on yourself, and I do think it's one of the most difficult things to transmute and overcome. May I be filled with peace. Amen to that. Parents, teachers, and bosses. Not all, some. And it just may be one of those categories or someone else that I've not mentioned. They're the first to cast a stone sometimes, right? In a school, sometimes you're not good enough for this, or you're never going to make it to this level. Or with family, your sister or brother is so much better at this. Why can't you be more like them? Rather than finding what you're good at and saying, I'd love to help you accomplish something here. What's your block? How can I help you? So sometimes people just don't know what to do. They're pointing at someone else and saying, like, do that, be that. Be you. You do you. Be kind to yourself. If you made a mistake, own up to it. If you didn't do as much as you could have, do more in the future. It's about the time. Wasn't that Gandalf? It's all about the time that we have. That's all that we're given. So we just have to figure out what to do with this moment in time. And one of the things that you can do is say, I forgive myself, and I'm going to be at peace with who I am, what I've done, and just know that that's enough, okay? Patience, my friends, patience. We have Temperance in reverse. Temperance is an angelic card. So when the angels come through, they're not always as direct. It depends on which angel. I'll take it back. Like Uriel is usually very direct. Michael can be very direct. But when they're just in your energy, they're trying to whisper, nudge, and kind of like with angel's wings, gently push you in that direction. You need to slow down. So one of the things that you can do is slow down a little bit. So what if you miss a deadline? So what if you don't do as well as you had hoped? Do the best that you can. That's all that anybody, including your higher self, expects. If your health, if your mental focus, or whatever it is that's kind of coming in the way, that needs to be dealt with first. You will be able to be amazing. You still are amazing, but you have to take care of yourself. One step at a time. Temperance takes one foot and dips it into the water. Test the water before jumping head first, see how deep it is. And also, there's usually a path behind temperance. So the path will reveal itself when the inner calm comes through. If you're stressed about accomplishing things or doing things, then I think for some of you, there's too much of a focus on when. And it needs to just more be focused on maybe even why. So I want to look really quick at one card here, which is, will you get through the challenge in front of you? Whatever's stressing you out. Only if you take a break. So this Ten of Swords is interesting because it doesn't show failure. It shows fatigue, and it shows the limits that happen when we work ourselves to the point of fatigue. So this is burnout. This is pain in the body. This is fear of failure, or kind of like putting yourself out there and thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do X, Y, or Z, or I'm a failure. Remember, that isn't how we use the I am. And I don't believe in the F word, failure. You can say, I didn't accomplish my goals. That's so much better than I failed. Even I failed is better than I'm a failure. Take that out. Throw it out the window. Put it in the recycling bin. Let's never use that again. I'd rather you say, I misstepped, I underestimated, I didn't accomplish all of my goals, but I will next time, but I'll learn from that. You are not a failure, and you haven't failed. I really hate that there's a grade called F. Like, we teach students at a young age that you could be a failure. Just keep percentages on that. You accomplished this much percentage. What if you could accomplish more? That's at least a little bit better. But we don't need to put, A doesn't even mean anything. A, B, C, D, F. We're just going through the alphabet. Where did E go? They purposely chose F for failure. Forget about it. Okay? If there's chronic pain or fatigue, take care of yourself. Deal with that first and foremost. You owe it to yourself. And sometimes you have to go through an experience to realize I don't want to do this again. Be careful this week with communication. Ten of Swords is an argument. And it's an argument where you lay down words that you wouldn't normally. You'd take a cheap shot or something like that, so don't. If somebody does it for you, calmly think to yourself, thank you so much. I am not going to care about this anymore. I'm not going to. You can't. I once had someone yell at me, and I just ended a session. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. That's not how this works. Because you have to have boundaries. And that person continued to berate me and complain. I'm like, that's not how it works. I'm not doing anything wrong to have a boundary about common courtesy. You wouldn't just go yell at a Starbucks barista or, a person. Some people do, but like, you don't get to yell at people. I have boundaries now where if you just treat me cruelly, I'm like, nope, that's not how it works. So we need to have decorum. And if somebody does that to you, firmly say thanks, but no thanks. Let me use a different deck for the next thing that I want to look at. Okay. All right, so in the little poll that I did, the second thing that many of you are dealing with is goals. I think I actually touched on failure. So let's look at abundance, career, and money. I think that's something really great to look at. Okay. what's going on with abundance right now. All right, I'm just going to turn them upright and talk about why they were reversed just so we can see them a little bit easier. So there's a common theme here. Remember, I went into great depth around the Two of Swords. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean you can't do it. Just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean that it won't. And not everything that we see in the universe or around us, that's not all there is. So until we developed telescopes that could see through the atmosphere, we didn't know what lay beyond that or lied beyond that. And until we actually sent some of them, like the James Webb telescope, and turned it away from the sun and faced it in a new direction and looked in the infrared, all of the stuff that we thought existed, there's more. The rabbit hole goes so much further and so much deeper than you imagined. On a fun note, that means that, gosh, there's so many possibilities. Today could be anything. Tomorrow could be anything. It could have started terribly. You could have been in traffic, spilled coffee on your shirt, tripped over something and scraped your leg, received some bad news. But then a couple of minutes later, a couple of hours, or a couple of days later, your luck changes. Because if you're open to it, that's just one episode. So we need to kind of look at our life as a season or a series, like an episode in that. And some episodes are challenging, some are really cool. And so let's just get through this episode and look beyond. Ask questions. So now when I see the Two of Swords, look with this, not with this. Listen with this, not with these. So you're using different parts of your energy system and different senses than the normal ones. Third eye to see forward, heart to listen. That will help you. I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore because I went so deep in the message. What was I looking at? So give me a second to go back up there. I think I was looking at accomplishing. So no, it was career and money. Okay, so because don't look at your bank account, don't look at your title, don't look at rejection letters. They may not see who you truly are. Fight and keep fighting, keep persevering, keep putting it out there. 9 of Wands is like the Energizer Bunny. So you can still get what you want, but in the end, it's almost like survival of the most stubborn. Not necessarily the fittest, but the ones that are willing and ready to keep pushing and keep going through things. So don't give up. You can do this. Perseverance wins out. Other people will give up, and your ability not to give up is what's going to put you at the head of the pack. 5 of Cups in the future position. So the past is very much the past. Could have, would have, should have. Failures, setbacks, self-hatred, whatever it was in the past that spilled the cups, we're going to let them go, because on the other side, we have love, friendship, opportunity, something better. You need to move, though, figuratively, literally, or mentally, into a different channel, environment, or situation. The bridge over troubled water. The cups are here, but you have to move from this way of thinking. It's a paradigm shift. I gave you lots of tools today. You're not unemployed, you're looking for work. You're not inexperienced, you're ready to learn. You're not old, you're wise. You're not, I don't know what else, but just look around on whatever you're putting as negative and just look at it from a different perspective. What can help you with this, I've mentioned this before, is imagine that you were meeting yourself at the bar and it was like a first date. It's a weird exercise, but you want to put on your best impression there. And so you wouldn't want to listen to yourself complaining about all this stuff. You okay, I'm divorced and I can't find anyone. You could say, wow, I'm so happy to be free of a really difficult relationship. I'm learning who I am and deciding what I want. Think powerfully and positively about yourself. Imagine yourself at the table and how you'd want to come across, and then adopt that versus the cloud over your head version, which we all feel. Everybody's going to feel it from time to time. I'm angry. This isn't working. But these are, okay, so back to the magic theme today. Words are incantations. It's not an accident that Lady Gaga's Abracadabra was a success. She literally cast a spell in that song. She made up nonsense words. She was speaking in tongues. She used Latin. And she really wanted it to be a blessing for everybody because Abracadabra is a protective spell. But she also abracadabraed her way to the top of the charts with that because of the power of words. So use your words wisely and don't say I am and then insert a negative thing. Stop it. Stop. Please. You're overcoming that. You are something else. If you take nothing away from today's reading, it's that. Okay? Today's a kind of deep reading. It's probably because I'm fatigued and just super tapped into energy. I'm working on energy rather than sleep. Okay. I even had a little coffee today, which I never have. All right. Finally, relationships, because I put them all there. I'm just going to look at these. Okay. Relationship harmony. Let's use a different deck. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship status you're in, we're just looking at how you interact with people, okay? So very broadly speaking, show me what's going on. Let's just let past, present, future show what's coming through. And the future will be where this is going to be resolved, okay? All right. We got some stuff going on. All reversals, which means everything here can be transmuted if need be. Okay, so Page of Pentacles. It's been very hard for some of you to say, I want this, or I need this, or I like it when this happens. So come forth and state expectations, boundaries, and also highlight what isn't existing. For this to work out, we need to do X, Y, and Z. Also, just make sure it's as close to 50-50 as possible. Relationships are never perfectly 50-50. One partner might be going through a day. One may just have a lot to help and want to help out. But over time, averages, it should be closer to even than it is. And so that's the first thing that I'm seeing is seeing yourself as an equal, advocating for your wants, needs, and equity in a relationship. And as long as you start to do some of that, some great things can happen. Present. Some of you are busy. The hustle and bustle of life doesn't allow you to get the bird's eye view, literally, that we see in this particular card. I think this is a corvidae, like a raven or crow. So take a moment to see things from that higher perspective. Crows also connect to spirit. Meditate. Because just like I was able to do with, and the more you meditate and know your energy, the more you'll identify when it's not your energy. So when I was feeling all of the palpitations, I'm like, why? What? Where? Exactly what I should have been asking. Oh, okay, it's not me. Now I don't have to have that take me over. It's not going to be a tidal wave. It's just going to be a subtle, like, I don't know, I'm dipping my foot in and feeling it, energy. Some of you, there's just too much going on and you need to slow down. You're too busy. You could be, you and or your partner or the person that I'm looking at could be caught up in the hustle and bustle. Sometimes it's not worth saying. Or you need to elevate, write it down. Because this Ten of Swords isn't great. It's hard to see because I had to hide it, but there's a person here who cut off someone's fingers that was trying to hold on to something. There could be someone that wants to hold you back. Or what you say or do could hold it back. Don't argue. So to quote a Tina Turner song, I don't want to fight anymore. In the lyrics, I can't remember all of it, but this line comes out. I don't care who's wrong or right. I just don't want to fight anymore. There comes a point, it's a good song. Tina's got a lot of good songs, but that's one of them. There comes a point where it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So I feel like some of you might be at a point where it's like, I don't want to do this. I know where this will go. It's just going to take a lot of energy. What I had to do last week was make many drafts. I drafted it, I read it, saved it, read it, saved it, sent it to another party, had them read it. like 15 to 20 drafts because it was an important letter that I was writing. And then I'm like, okay, it's done. It's as good as it's going to be now. But I wanted to avoid this. And the first thing that I wrote wasn't good. I didn't even put it in an email document for fear of having a 2 category filled. It was in Microsoft Word. So I just kept working on it there and saving it so that I couldn't be tempted to hit send. Practice what you have to say. Imagine that you're receiving it. Then elevate it a bit. Then make it more constructive. Then make it more data-driven. Then make it more... Pretty soon, you'll have something that's very convincing, but you got to get the first draft out of the way. Never have a first draft conversation. Talk to yourself in the shower, talk to a friend, write it out, practice it, get it internalized, and then have the conversation. No first drafts this week in relationships. And you may be at a point where it's time to move on. You can't always fix things, and it's okay. Don't hide in distraction. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need. But if you've done that and it still isn't working, it might be time to move on. One general piece of advice for whatever you're trying to do. It's the devil, you know. So sometimes we protect ourselves and we stay in a situation that just isn't enough. Oh, I just noticed there's a little hummingbird in the background. That's a very powerful symbol for me. Hummingbirds come through for me not only as a reminder, like connection to my mom and spirit, but like things are going to be fine. Look up, look around, look elsewhere. So you're only seeing what you have or had or what's in front of you, but not what could be. And there could be someone that's holding on to you and using their words to cut you down. Has nothing to do with you. You're so much more than you or they see. Okay? If things are okay in your relationship right now, I think the big message here is health and development, because the Ten of Swords is definitely like health, well-being, especially emotional and physical. But the Four of Pentacles is saying, am I holding myself back from doing something for fear of acceptance or for fear of judgment? Don't be. Remember the full spread. Judgment was in the deep past. It was something to overcome. And we had the Hermit, I think. So it's like you're hiding a piece of yourself for fear of judgment. If people truly love you and see you, they'll see you. They'll be all right with that. Okay. Let's just do a wild card, and then I'll see if there's anything that actually... I actually feel like I already kind of did the bonus. Even we're not going to meet it today. That's okay, because I'm a giving person. So we didn't meet our bonus, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to do whatever I want to do today. Feel free when you watch this on replay to add more if you want to. If you liked what you saw here, leave a sticker today. It could really help, because I've been going through a lot with all this stuff in the move, and I appreciate it. All right. I'm going to do what I want to do just because I want to do it now. So I'm taking back the power. I was like, you get to choose. Now I get to choose. All right. What does the collective need to know today to reconnect with their magic? Ooh, I love it. This is good. This is great even. So we have the Two of Wands, and this represents dreaming, imagining, and then doing, but it empowers High Priestess and Magician. When was the last time that you just sat down for a second and daydreamed? When was the last time you made a wish and thought, God, I wish this could happen? Maybe it can happen. You need to keep doing that at every age and stage of life, whether you're 10 or 110. Never stop dreaming. Never stop reaching. And keep reflecting. This person, so normally they're holding the wand, or holding the world. The wands are on either side. They're looking at the world, they're looking at the distance. But this one is in a liminal space. And they're thinking, oh, I've got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I think what you really could know this particular moment in time is the veil is still lifting, the details are still filling in. Yes, the best is yet to come, but you also have so much more power than you're giving yourself credit for, okay? You are a magical, mystical being. You can create things that don't exist, and you can manifest things that you want to see in your life. Okay? And just because I can, let me see if I can gift something here. So my final 5 for this month, because I feel like we all could use some stuff. Here's the final 5 that I can gift memberships to bring us closer to what I was trying to do. Okay, so the main part is done, but we're going to do two things. We're going to meditate and do a healing meditation, and then we'll look at one final card, okay? Close your eyes for a moment, please. Take a deep breath. Do that 2 more times while I take a drink, and I want you to imagine that you're sweeping in light with each inhalation, and then as you exhale, you're letting go of heavy thoughts, heavy energies, and heavy people as well. All that stuff that you don't need in your life. All right, at this point, I'd like you to imagine that you're at the beach, and you've laid down a blanket. You have your sunblock on, so you're fine, but it's in meditation, so it doesn't matter. Your feet, however, and your hands are outside of the blanket. You can feel the sand beneath your feet. It's warm, it's supportive, it's reflecting the light of the sun. You can actually even cup up a little bit of the sand in your hands, feeling each grain move through you. Feeling how, just like sands through an hourglass, days will go faster than you think sometimes. And it's reminding you to hold on to this moment in time and say, what can I do right now? Those sands in your hands are basically moments, thoughts, ideas. And we're not moving through an hourglass, but you're connecting to all of this because we don't know how much time we have on this planet. But with the time that remains, make a wish, set an intention. And I'd like you to think one affirmative or positive thing about yourself. Release the sand, put the hands on your heart center, and connect with the sun above. Feel a sense of love, passion, compassion, and connection. Allow the rays of light from the sun to beam through each of the energy centers on our body, not just the 7 that we talk about, but the myriad that exist throughout. And feel that you are plugging into source, like a phone that is going to 100% on a supercharge. We're going to get there in like 10 seconds. I'd like you to take a few deep breaths and feel that every cell, every fiber, every thought of your being is filled with the golden light of the sun and source energy, protective and also enlightening energy. If there were any mental blocks, they are cleared. If there were any people that were blocking you, they will be cleared. If there are any emotions that are in your energy system, they are being elevated. Take a couple of deep breaths. Enjoy this bliss. And when you're ready, I'd like you to come back into your body. And let's look at one final question. It can be anything that you want me to look at. I want to go back to the Wildwood deck and use that. Okay, we like this. So in a traditional deck, this would be the Emperor. In this deck, it is the Green Man. What I love about this is a couple of things. First of all, Green Man, usually it is someone that kind of looks like something out of Tolkien, like a tree person, right? Growth, stability, grounding energy, creative energy. A tree creates seeds. You are the one that can bring forth the things that you're looking for. You are the source. I like that he's mixing up something special, some sort of magical potion. So you're in the active state of creation. The Emperor and the Empress both have that ability to create. Don't underestimate your potential. They come after, so if you think of the order, it's Fool, Magician, High Priestess, Empress, Emperor. You have all of those energies working with you by the time you've reached this, because the major arcana is the story of the Fool reaching that stage of enlightenment, which is the World card. So you've got so much working for you right now. Connect with all of that. Even though it's number 4, there's still the 0 card, so there's 5 energies working with you. And 2 of them are the most powerful, High Priestess and the Magician. So it's like going to school. There's 21 stages in the major arcana. You're in a really good position right now, but one of the things that this state of being, because each of the major arcana cards is a part of us, a state that we could be. You are now in the state of being of control, of authority, of power, of driving. So take that and do something with it. If you asked a yes or no, it's a yes, but you have to be accountable. You have to speak up. You have to do it potentially on your own. You are the green man. You are the emperor. And you are all 5 cards that comprise that sort of phase of the journey. So you can do this. I feel very, very good about wherever you're at. You have the capacity to move forward, but it's you. No one else is going to drive you. You're going to drive yourself. Even if you can't drive like an actual vehicle, you're spiritually taking that chariot and directing it where it needs to be. Okay? I'm alluding to it because we pulled it earlier. Today was intense, wasn't it? It was a good reading. You never know what to expect when we come here because every reading is different. Every time we all show up, it's different. Whoever showed up today brought a separate energy. You're going to be fine. You're going to be more than fine, okay? And even though we didn't meet our target, you all showed up today, and I showed up today, and that's all that matters. Okay, a couple things. If you enjoyed this reading, like and subscribe, leave a comment. From my heart to yours, I appreciate you. You can go to my website for more ways to connect, nicholasashbaugh.com, and from there, you can join me on social media. You can also give back with PayPal if you'd like to. You can book a private reading if you want to go deeper into whatever's going on in your life. And right here on YouTube, many of you are already doing it. I'm going to say thank you here in just a moment. We'll give back with super stickers, super chat, and through memberships. So let's do it. All right. Okay. I know why it didn't happen. Because the goal ended too soon. I only gave you 30 minutes because I'm tired and sleep deprived. We probably met it today, so I'm glad I went further. It's all good. I'm not worried about it. I'm like, why didn't we reach it? That's why, because you're half asleep today, Nicholas. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I'm going to give some shout outs right now. Please do me a favor today. Never let anybody take your power or your confidence away. You are a magical being capable of doing wonderful things. I believe in you, your guides believe in you, and give yourself some time and credit. Okay, that's my little message of encouragement. Thank you for everybody that showed up, everybody that watches this on replay, everybody that's listening while they're jogging. I don't care how you are listening or tuning in. I'm glad you showed up today, and that's the most important thing. I do want to say thanks to those who gave back a little bit extra today, and we did meet it. I just went for it anyway, so I'm glad I did that extra bit today. Okay, welcome to... I should say welcome back to, is it Traverna, sorry. Traverna Douglas, thank you so much. Good to see you again. I can see that you rejoined. Thank you, Colette. Always good to see you. Thanks for chatting so much today, for being a member, for giving a sticker. Lorena, thank you so much for your sticker. I appreciate you. Colette, thank you again for the multiple contributions today. Blue Butterfly, thanks for being a member and for your sticker. Celebrating an amazing 39 months. We have Renee Smith. So I got a new prescription that's coming. Clearly I need it. So thank you, Renee, for being a member for 39 months. That's amazing. Couple of years. I so appreciate that. Over 2 years. Almost going on to another year. So thank you very much. Teresa, good to see you. Thank you for your sticker. Shelly, thank you for the sticker and for being a longtime member. Colette, thank you again. Colette, thank you again. Colette, you are helping us, and I appreciate that. And you did help us meet the goal. Like I said, it was my misunderstanding, but I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 in a row almost. Thank you so much. Tahoe, good to see you. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you, friend, in a while. 57 months. Wow. You were with me during the pandemic. I remember the name popping up. So thank you for being here and even beyond that, but thank you for being here for a minute or two. We have, let's see, R. Montoya, I think it is. Thank you so much. And for joining from Italy. That's one of the Romance languages that I need to study because my grandfather was from Italy. I'm 50% Italian. So thank you so much. And thank you for also contributing so much today. I appreciate that. Okay, Sage, nice name. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. I can see that you have a higher emoji, so welcome back to the channel. Kayla, thank you very much for your sticker. I appreciate you and for being a member. And then Armand Montoya, thank you for also becoming a member too. Good to have you here. Colette, thank you again so much. Catherine, thank you for your sticker, and I'm glad that you're feeling the messages coming through. Today was very much channeled. Today was very much psychic. The cards were there, but I was not all here for half of the reading. It was much more spirit-led today. Donna, thank you very much for your sticker. Yolanda, thank you as well. Colette, I appreciate the multiple contributions today, and again for helping us really at the end of the day exceed the goals. So thank you. B. Deidre, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being the #1 chat person, for being a member, and for giving back. And you were right. It ended too early today. I was just tired, and I don't have Dakota here with me today, so he would have caught something like that. Don't worry about it. We made it. It's all good. And I'm not here just for that. It's more like a little goal to help us. Lydia, thank you. 66 months. I think you're one of the longest members here that's been in attendance. So as tumultuous as things have been, yes, I'm glad that I do my best to show up every day because I do feel better. I wasn't sure how I would make it today. I never have coffee, but I was like, I need a coffee today. But one thing that my tarot teacher taught me, that was a lot of T's. He said sometimes when you're not all there, like you're actually I was able to access source because I was relying on energy from source to do today's reading. So I didn't let my mind get in the way because I was really just operating on energy from source, channeling source. So I think it actually benefited you guys, but I'm ready for a nap. Ms. Sparkle, thank you for your sticker. Sam Murphy, thank you. And thank both of you for being members as well. Sam, thank you for the multiple stickers. Lydia, thank you again for the sticker and membership. GGG Cullen, thank you so much for the sticker and membership. Lauren, thanks for the sticker. MPS Lyman, rather. Thank you very much for the sticker, and I see your name every week, so I appreciate that. Lauren, thank you so much for your sticker. I think I said that. Jenny, thank you for the sticker and membership. Jane Fritz, thank you for 39 months of membership. Oh my gosh, super grateful to have you here as well. And let's see, Opal 101. Yes, we are all enough. Good message. Thanks for the sticker and membership. Sage Petal, thank you for gifting memberships, for being a member, and for participating today. IVL 93, thanks for gifting a membership and sharing the love. I appreciate that. B. Deidre, thank you for sharing memberships. Jamie McCormick, good to see you again, my friend. Thanks for 1 year of being an anniversary here. Good to have you. You're always great with your comments and support. So congrats and thank you, more importantly. And then thank you for being a member and for a sticker, IVL93. Again, I saw multiple ones today. Jeannie with hugs around either side. Thank you so much for your membership and for giving back to the community with gifted memberships. Leslie, thank you. Georgia, thank you for the stickers and for being members. Jamie, thank you again. We more than exceeded our goal, I can tell that. So apologies that I didn't see that. I'm just tired today. So Handel and Gul, thank you very much. Good to see you here every week. Taksumika. Teresa Meyer, thank you very much for gifting memberships. I appreciate that. And for being a member. Natalia Cook, thank you. Handel, thank you again for another sticker. I appreciate it. Jeannie, thank you again. Welcome to everyone that got membership from me. Lenny, thanks for the sticker. Let's see. Iced shaken espresso sounds good right about now. I'll take one. Thanks for your sticker. Created by Deanne. Thank you. Let's see. Leslie Hawk, it looks like. Thank you for being a member for a year. 2 anniversaries today for 1 year. And I'm sure we've all connected before, and I'm glad to be here today, so thank you. Sarah, thanks for the sticker and for being a member. I'm glad that was a blissful meditation for you. Georgia, thanks for 32 months. Get out of town. Yeah, today was kind of special. I don't know the last time I had a reading that was this spirit-led. I mean, there are times, but I think one of the cool things, this is what I want to do with some of the readings I'll get us caught up, I promise, but for May, it's going to be different, like fewer cards, more channeled messages. Like more psychic energy. I want to kind of go there even just with the way that I read so that I can start to receive more. Regina, my friend, also a very long time viewer. I can tell with all the little tops on the crown there. Thanks for the really great, that was gracious of you to give that much. I appreciate your support. You've been here for a long time. All right, guys, thanks for the amazing community. I will say, like, you guys all lifted me up today. I did my best to provide all that I could. And we didn't have technical issues. You never know when you're in a different environment. Thankfully, there's high-speed internet, and I was able to connect to the router, so it all worked out. Thank you very much. Have an amazing week ahead. Be kind to yourself. Apollo he's left the room. He's somewhere else. He's like, Dad, I've had enough of this. So I'm going to take him on a WALK, and I'm going to take a nice deep breath. I'm glad we got through this. From my heart to yours, wishing you all the best. And again, I am going to do them today. I'm going to do the last 3. I'm going to work through them a little bit quicker. Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. They'll all be up. I think I might have to push one of, well, it doesn't matter. I'll just post them. YouTube only lets you post 3 in a day with notifications. So one of them I might post at midnight just so that it goes through. But the other ones, well, probably Pisces are going to be posted at midnight, or I'll do like a live premiere or something so you don't miss it. And you'll get them all by tomorrow, just because I need those out of my, off the plate. We'll call them a mid-month check-in, and then you'll start off the next cycle. Pisces, you'll be first. And I'm going to do them shorter, and I'm going to work more with channel messages. You won't be getting anything less. You'll just be getting a different format. Formats should change. We can't keep doing the same thing. So, and I know that attention spans have shifted. This one, I will keep as long as it needs to be. It's us hanging out, having fun, and I don't worry about time on the weekly collectives. But I'm going to keep trying to adjust the monthlies so that I can do them faster and give you more in a sort of like more think of like concentrated something. Like that's what I'm going for, is concentrated rather than taking forever. So thanks for your patience. Have a great day. I'll see you guys very soon. And until then, be well. Bye-bye.